Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with a 1991 Bentley Turbo R. Now it has 672 horsepower, 840 pounds-feet of torque from its now 7.2 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 4,205 pounds, now has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and an off-road suspension, and it can do 0 to 16 2.691 seconds, 0 to 107.016 seconds, and going to a top speed of 163 miles an hour. Now I know those don't sound like impressive numbers, and it's purely down to the fact that I've gone for the silly option of sticking with the original engine, which is why it doesn't have all that much in the way of horsepower, but it does have a lot in the way of torque. But yeah, it still weighs a hell of a lot at more than 4,000 pounds. So let's see what this car can do. Now I know it sounds a bit of a oxymoron to wish this car well, because I do love it in its stock form, and then not give it the best chance in terms of horsepower and, you know, torque and lack of weight and whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to see what this car with its original engine that's been beefed up can do. And even though it's not got the most amount of power that we've ever had on this series, it's far from the least. And yeah, it's also easily got one of the torquier engines that we've had on this series. And even though it's still a heavy car, it's not the heaviest that we've had, and yeah, it's still a significant amount less than it was originally. We're talking about around £1,000 drop in weight, which for a car that was hardly feeling its weight to start with means that this is going to be even more agile than it was before, even with the all-wheel drive system, which again it wasn't ever meant for, but should be able to deal with it okay. And in terms of off-road elements, well, even though this car was obviously a saloon car in standard form and only rear-wheel drive and whatever, no, these are mainly driven by, you know, people in the countryside in the first place, so they always had a little bit of ground clearance to them and always a little bit of an ability to deal with certain off-road elements, you know, like unpaved roads and yeah, leafy countryside roads and the like. So yeah, fully confident this is going to not be the slowest that we've had, and hopefully won't even be the slowest Bentley that we've had either. Certainly able to maintain its speed, even more so now that it's not dealing with a underwhelming 3-speed automatic, which to be honest was the only main problem I had with the vehicle in its stock form. Torque along with the all-wheel drive system is ploughing us out of the corners. Easily going to be one of the slowest cars though across the finish line at 145 miles an hour, but with a time of 2 minutes 9 seconds 0.890, it's far from the slowest car that we've ever had on this series, which when you consider this had less than 700 horsepower and still weighed a hell of a lot, is fairly impressive. And yeah, that means we are quite the way down. We're not even in the top 100, but still we have managed to beat a Funko Motorsports F9, a Morris Minor Series 2 Traveller, a Jaguar Mark II 3.8, a Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6, Volkswagen Type 3, Volkswagen Carman Gear, Land Rover Series 3, International Scout 808 and an MG TA Midget. And in terms of Bentleys, well, we're quicker than the 8 litre. I'm not sure if that's the only one we've taken, so let me just search. Ah yeah, the Continental Super Sports was quicker at 2 minutes 6.119, but that is obviously a far more modern vehicle. But it is quicker than the 8 litre, which is the only other Bentley that we've had. So yeah, 2nd out of 3 isn't bad in terms of Bentleys, and to be quicker than some off-road vehicles like the Funko Motorsports and the obviously the original Land Rover, the International Scout, and it's even quicker than a Aerial Nomad and a Audi R8 and even a Hummer H1. So yeah, it's far from the worst that we've had. Obviously it might have been a little bit quicker had it had more power from one of the engines you can swap into it, but I love the engine in this car in its stock form, so I just wanted to see what it could do, and yeah, it could put in a pretty decent showing, even though obviously it's far from the top. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.